Alright, so if you haven't watched last week's episode, definitely check it out. But long story short, as I was uploading the footage from what would eventually be this episode, my computer decided to wipe my SD card, and I lost everything. So today, for the second time, I'll be making vegetarian mushroom bao, as a follow-up to episode 70, Korean buffalo fried chicken bao. I'm going to be doing the mushrooms two ways. For the first, I'll be using fresh shiitakes. They're actually local, as Winnipeg is home to one of the largest mushroom farms in Canada. All we're going to need to do is cut off the stems and slice them relatively thin. The mushrooms will shrink up, so you don't want to go too thin with them. We'll be turning these into smoked mushroom chips, but since they're fairly small and would slip through grill grates, I'm going to be using this. This wonderful thing is a pizza screen. I grabbed one from my favorite restaurant supply store and use it fairly frequently for grilling or smoking small things. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to grab one for yourself, they're pretty handy. As always, I'm using my Weber charcoal grill, but this will work with a propane one as well. The mushrooms will take about 10 minutes, so you don't need a ton of charcoal for this. I filled my chimney starter about halfway with hardwood charcoal. Now, if you don't have a barbecue or want to skip this step, that's totally fine. You can simply place the mushrooms on a parchment-lined baking sheet and bake them in an oven set to 300 degrees Fahrenheit until they get crispy and golden brown. Place the mushrooms away from the coals. You're going to want to work with indirect heat so they don't burn. Then throw a good handful of wood chips on top of the coals. Close the lid and allow them to smoke for a good 5 minutes before checking on them. After 5 minutes, they were already nice and smoky, but not quite crispy, so I let them go for another 5 minutes, until they looked like this. I really wish you could smell them, it's unreal. Lay the mushroom chips on a plate and season with kosher salt. We're going to be using dried shiitakes for the second type. Dried shiitakes have a much firmer and meatier texture than fresh ones. But since they're dry, we'll need to rehydrate them. So in a small pot, combine soy sauce, mirin, sweet cooking wine, and sake. These three ingredients make up tare and would be considered a mother sauce in Japanese cuisine. We'll also need some freshly cracked black pepper, a few smashed garlic cloves, some thinly sliced ginger, and water. The mushrooms will almost double in size, so keep that in mind when deciding how many to use. I added about 10 or 12. Place on the stove over medium-high heat and simmer for about 5 minutes. Then turn off the heat and allow them to steep until they're fully hydrated, about 10 to 15 minutes. While the shrooms are doing their thing, we can make ourselves some pickles. Now, I probably have a pickle recipe in more than half of my videos. Pickles are life after all. But if this is your first time seeing my channel and you've never made a quick pickle before, your life is about to change. Forever. And you're welcome. Slice an English cucumber into pieces half a centimeter thick, then quickly, for no reason whatsoever, eat one. Add them to a bowl along with kosher salt and sugar. Toss to combine and allow them to sit until they've released a bunch of water, about 5 to 10 minutes. Discard the water and top them off with rice or white vinegar. They'll be good to go in about 10 minutes. By now, the shiitake should be cool enough to handle. Remove them from the liquid, but wait! Don't throw it out. Inside this pot is umami-rich liquid gold, and there are literally a million uses for it. Cut the stems off and slice them thin. They're pretty much at their final size, so you don't have to worry about them shrinking too much. Any pan will work for this, but as always I recommend cast iron. Heat the pan on medium-high heat and add a few drizzles of a neutral oil like canola. Then toss in the shiitakes and fry them until they just start to brown and crisp. Don't worry about removing any of the excess liquid before they go into the pan either. It'll just help to season them. Once they're a bit crispy, turn off the heat and add the final ingredient, Chinese Hoisin sauce. Hoisin is like a savory, just slightly sweet barbecue sauce. It also happens to be one of my absolute favorites. You're not going to need lots either, just enough to lightly coat them. Then keep them warm on low. The final thing we'll need is the bao. You can check out my last real episode to learn how to make your own. But one thing I did forget to mention is bao freezes incredibly well and takes only a few minutes to reheat. Place a pot big enough to hold the steamer with a few inches of water and bring to a boil over high heat. When steaming bao, always make sure to give them some space in between, so don't overcrowd. Steam over high heat for 3 to 5 minutes or until they're hot and plump, and definitely don't use your fingers to take them out. All that's left is to thinly slice some green onion for garnish. Then bust out that fancy plate, carefully open the bao, hit it with a little bit more of the hoisin, strain and add the pickles, Spoon in some of the fried shiitakes and top with the smoked shiitake chips and the thinly sliced green onion. And that's it. Hoisin, mushroom, bao. The combination of smoked chips, crispy shiitakes, and savory hoisin kinda gives the bao a pulled pork taco feel, which I definitely don't see as a bad thing. Curious about the tools and equipment I used in this episode? I'll have links in the description for all of them. And if you like my channel and are interested in supporting it, you can check out my Ko-fi page. I'll have a link for that as well. But don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. They're the easiest, funnest, and freest ways to support the channel, and helps me make new content every week. Thanks for watching, and stay awesome.